Yeah, which I mean is obvious, but that's not what the internet said would happen. Which I was like, someone needs to like correct this because it was pretty depressing. So I lost whatever it was, like 13 pounds of fat, 7 pounds of lean mass. But
it's depressing because then you start to, and you don't want to explain to people, hey, I'm fasting, because people think something's going on with you.
Yeah, but even after you start eating, like the muscle didn't just come back.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that was pretty brutal, but it was intense not eating. I still was filming and working throughout it. So like on day 10 and 11 and 12, like it was really fucking with me. Like I standing up was just like brutal, and like walking around or anything like that, because you have no energy.
You needed a real cane like Willy Wonka had.
That was intense. And
did you notice like, but your clarity got pretty sharp as a whip. Were you able to use that?
People say that, but no, for me, never hit. I never got that like, a superhuman clarity, because that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
No, I was just fucking tired, man, all the time. I was too tired to have clarity.
I could read people's damn minds.
I thought that guy was naked at first on the right.
Former All-Pro NFL tackle Russell Okung is also over 150 pounds since retiring, including losing 100 pounds in 40 days by fasting every day. Yeah.
That's crazy. We just started a video where we're about to start it after when I go back home. We built a gym, like just a weightlifting gym. And then we put a big red circle around it. And then we're going to give a guy either, I don't know which one, if he loses 100 pounds before he leaves that red circle.
Ooh.
And so, and he has a trainer in there and he has a chef and everything he'll need. And then, and then
exciting.
Yeah. So like that video might take like a year, and so he's living in there. We have cameras set up and it's just like lose 100 pounds or leave, and if you lose 100 pounds before you leave, you win the money.
That's fair, dude. They should do that around a IndyCar race, Just
Why?
put a big, huge circle around like a Talladega or whatever.
Why?
And just be like, lose 100 pounds. Oh, I didn't think about the end of it.
Another video we're about to start too is I bought a jet, and then we're grabbing two people who just graduated from pilot school or whatever, just got their license. And we're going, if you guys live in this jet for the next 100 days, don't step foot out of it once. For the next 100 days, you get to keep the jet.
Oh.
So then they'll own a private jet, but they can fly it around or do whatever, just as long as they don't leave.
They just can't leave.
Yeah. So like, I'm hoping they'll like fly to New York and just Uber eat some pizza to the door of the jet, then fly to California or whatever. And it just like, that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Is there a video, say if they shut you down, they're like, Beast, you're done. No more beasting around here, boy.
No more
Get out of here, Beast. What if people were like that, and then you got to make one more video? Do you know what it would be, you think?
That's only one more. I mean,
because you've got the $5 million, you've upped the ante.
Yeah. Well, that's on the show, but on YouTube, because I don't have streaming money on YouTube, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. There's so many things I want to do. It'd be hard to pick one.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
You still have a ton of ideas.
Oh, unlimited. I mean, the bottleneck for me is not ideas. It's just like actually pulling them off, because a lot of these are multi-million-dollar projects that take months upon months to set up, months to film, months to edit, etc. So it's just like, they're pretty brutal. Like one of the ones we did recently that I thought was really cool, but like this is an example of how much time it takes, is we built a bunker underground. Did you see that one?
I know. I'm not sure.
Okay, but so we had to dig like a super deep hole. We bought a bunker, put it in, covered it up, and then pull up the outside of it for him so you can see what it looks like. And then we had to, that top one right there.
I've seen some of this.
Yeah. So that's a bunker we built. And then those two people, if they lived in there for 100 days, they won $500,000.
Oh, they did it too.
Yeah. And then but you have to set deck the bunker, and then so that's like multiple months of building and everything. Right. And then you put them in there, and then that's still 3 months and 10 days of filming. And then, you have to have like camera crew there going around the clock, and you have to have a medic there just for safety and all these other things. And I have to check in every day. And then now you come out the other end, you have 100 days worth of footage, which takes, editing team forever to comb through and watch and edit and then build stories. So like, that's like a 8-month long project. You know what I mean? So they're just like,
it's a lot.
Yeah. It's very, very intense. And that's the thing, is like, the fact that I can do all this for a YouTube video, it was like unfathomable when I was growing up. Like it's crazy to see like the kind of content that can be supported by YouTube. I think on that video we probably spent like $4.5 million
making that.
Yeah, just on that, between the bunker and the prize pool and everything.
And how many shows can you have? Can you have a couple of things going like that at once?
Yeah, we have to. I try to upload 2 videos a month, so we have to be working on 6 to 8 videos at a time because these videos take months to pull off. So, because if we're only working on one at a time, then I'd only upload once every like 3 or 4 months.
And do you come up with most of the ideas yourself, or do you have kind of a team when you guys kind of pool them?
Yeah, so that's where it's interesting because the ideas are incredibly important because like I do a lot of 7-day challenges, right? I spent 7 days buried alive. I spent 7 days in solitary confinement, 7 days in a cave, underground city, 7 days on a desert island, blah, blah, blah. And then what's interesting is like, you could do 7 days buried alive. So me laying in a coffin for 7 days, or you could do theoretically, right? I could lay in a bathtub for 7 days, right? Both take the same amount of my time. Both are me just laying there, but the one in the bathtub isn't going to get any views. No one gives a fuck. The one of me laying in a tomb underground, everyone will care because it's like fucking what the fuck, this dude buried himself alive. So it like shows like theoretically it's kind of the same thing, but this idea is just in a different setting environment and will probably get 10,000 times more views. And so it shows like the importance of the idea, if that makes sense. Like it's not views or success isn't directly correlated with the effort you put in. A lot of it has to do with what is the overarching concept. And so once you kind of realize that, you just like get really obsessed with how do I come up with crazy, cool, original, viral ideas. And so that's what I spent most of my teenage years obsessing over. And I used to do every single day. I would brainstorm video ideas and I'd write them down. And that's how I built I have this like Google sheet with like 10,000 ideas on it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I thought of trying to sell that to YouTubers at one point because there's so many there I could never film them. But then after a while, now that things have gotten so big and I have to like film 25, 28 days a month and I have all this stuff going on, I can't do an hour a day. So I hired people to do it for me. And then, like once a week, they'll just go, hey, here's 200 really cool, unique ideas. I'll flip through them and, and they'll usually inspire something in my head. Because a big thing too is like, this is what I've probably said this on podcasts before, but like if there was a fruit in Africa that if you ate, you grew 2 feet taller and you didn't know that existed until I just told you right now. Right, you wouldn't have been able to brainstorm ideas around eating that fruit. But now that you know it exists, you could. And so it's like very important to always be intaking new information and learning things because that's how you come up with more original creative stuff. Like I noticed when I first started hiring people to start brainstorming stuff for me that like after 2 months of someone doing this, you would just basically start getting the same ideas on autopilot, right? Like if a guy really likes basketball, you'll start to notice like, 10% of his ideas have to do with basketball. But it's not because basketball is like the greatest ideas or most viral thing. It's just because that's what he watches. And so, and you'll notice if someone watches baseball, now they conveniently have baseball ideas. And so what you want is you just want to get someone who you just almost like want to make them constantly learn and absorb new information. Listen to 10 different podcasts, one episode of each, not 10 of one. Listen, watch every sport, not one. And you almost have to to train people to help you come up with good ideas. You have to just train them to watch a bunch of different content and absorb information, and you'll see it come out in their ideas, if that makes sense.
So first of all, you'd find somebody who you like, okay, I like that this person comes up with ideas.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, now I just need I need them to encourage them to consume different things.
Yeah, it's almost like an information diet.
Different ingredients to come out with a different cake or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So you control their information diet by,
information diet. That's so wild.
I mean, and that's, I obsess over things. So
yeah, it's important.
But that's been super helpful because it's just, that's how because a big part of getting 100 million views theoretically on a video is if, is it something someone has seen before or not? Like, there's this TED Talk I watched one time and he was talking about how, if you're driving down the road, you just see a cow, you're probably not even going to look at it, right? Who cares? You've seen them all the time. But if you're driving down the road and there's a purple cow, you're going to look like 4 times. You're going to remember that. Like someone could ask you a year later and you'll be like, yeah, I saw a purple cow. And it's like, the only difference is it's purple. And it's kind of the same way on social media, right? Like if you're scrolling through videos and it's something you've seen before, nothing too crazy. It's just, it's almost like you should visualize as like, that's the equivalent of someone seeing a cow. But if it's something they've never seen before, like you putting a bunker underground and 2 people living in it, that is the equivalent of a purple cow on social media.
Like, how do I make something that Prince would drink milk out of,
Wait, what did you just say?
Like, how do you make something that Prince would drink milk out of? Prince musician. What's his last name?
Prince. Okay.
I'm talking about Prince from Minnesota?
No.
Oh, Prince.
I mean, I've heard the word.
Little Red Corvette.
Yeah.
You know that song? He's a musician, but purple. Okay. He was like a purple guy.